Welcome, YouTube, to the title screen. This is Acid Roots, and this is the next episode of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3. So we're kind of in a snafu here, because I'm trying to figure out what to do with this series. I do manage to get past the lightning stage, so you'll at least see that. But the next stage after it, which is basically the final regular level in the regular game, is really giving me some difficulty. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. It's the reverse control stage, so if you're wondering what's going to happen as to why that happens, it's kind of spoilers if you haven't seen this yet, but it basically is a water stage that reverses the controls and makes it real difficult. So it's just kind of, World 7 really kind of picks up the slack in terms of the difficulty and such, where I kind of say, it's still kind of lazy, where this is not horribly difficult, but it's just enough that it's just out of my price range in terms of, like, the concept of it. I tried for like 20 minutes, something like that. I could probably publish those episodes. I do have like a good 25-minute attempt of like trying to get past that stage, but I just don't know how effectual it would be to consistently do gameplay segments of just that particular stage. I think maybe 1 or 2 or 3 10-minute episodes is okay, but for the most part it just kind of seems like paltry to kind of do it. So I don't know what to do with it. If I really cannot beat the stage, it's just going to continue to be open-ended. Most Let's Players, when you watch them, they have enough affinity to finally be able to beat the stage, but it's just one that just, like I said, seems out of my price range, and it's just kind of like, it's a real taxing kind of stage. So I just don't know. I could be playing the stage the whole summer trying to figure it out as far as that kind of actively goes. And even then, that's just the last stage. There's the boss too. So just talking about the multifaceted boss, that's the one of World 7. So I'd have to see if I could beat that even. There's actually might as well be two more stages that are just kind of within that concept. But for the time being, I would just say, fire up some goodies, get some snacks, head to KFC, get yourself some good stuff, and that sort of thing as far as that kind of actively goes. But it's just kind of, I wanted to beat this game. That's really the concept behind it. I don't want to talk all Debbie Downer and that type of stuff, but I just would have to say this is a good game, and I have beaten this stage like 25 years ago, but it's just kind of, I don't know, this is really kind of tricky, and I just don't like to rage. I'm in my 30s to the point where I don't like to rage at video games and that type of stuff, but this is a game that pisses me off. These last few stages are really, you don't see it because I'm doing post-commentary, but some of these, like this stage, kind of pissed me off quite a bit, too. Really, all of World 7 was a pretty big pain in the ass. That lightning should not have hit that barrel. It should have hit the B. But, yeah, I just kind of look after it, like, as far as that actively kind of goes. Like, it just divulges things to the point where you're just expected to kind of learn this stuff through trial and error, which obviously that means that you have to die in order to figure out the concept, which means it's probably going to lead to frustration. There's certain Super Nintendo games, I can't pinpoint a ton of them as far as wondering which ones are probably the ones that got people to break controllers and stuff. I would say that this particular world really had some nasty kind of vibes about it, so it's just kind of, when you look after it, you think that it's not terribly difficult to do, but it's just kind of in practice, it really has like that concept of, like, you just don't get like warnings in terms of that. It really kind of leads you, and then you have to really know exactly the perspective of it. But it was the same problem I had with, this is similar to the same problem I had with Prince of Persia, where I just kind of looked after it, where that game was just stupefyingly stupid, just because, I did do like 2 or 3 episodes of that if you want to check that out. That is on Acid Roots, but Prince of Persia for the Super Nintendo. Now, you would think that would break the barrel. You got struck by lightning right as you were throwing the barrel, so of course the barrel which she holds over her head was not struck. So, if it's lightning, it needs to strike quickly. But I don't know. I feel like there just shouldn't be a hit frame when you're throwing the barrel. I think that's kind of cheap that happens. That seems like that would only be designed for this stage, where you throw the barrel where the barrel's technically not over your head, so you can still die. For a video game, that's pretty savant to do that, and I don't mean that in a positive way, but it kind of happens to be a thing. But, yeah, I just kind of look after it like, Prince of Persia pissed me off. Blackthorn pissed me off pretty badly. Like, I don't know if I said this in the playthrough of Blackthorn 3 years ago, but I almost didn't complete that stage just because of a particular stage in World 3, which you have to time your jump. You have like a limited amount of time to get through a door that you have to do within. I mean, you'll know if you watch that playthrough, there's like a jump that you have to make where you have to run across a series of gaps and then jump before a door closes, and that happens in World 3. And I almost had to quit playing that. And I'm glad that I was able to beat that game, but that was an almost where it didn't happen. I'm glad I did. I mean, Sarlacc was pretty annoying too. The final boss of that game was pretty bad, but this is kind of more trial and error. So I don't know. It's kind of up in the air whether or not I'm going to beat this game. So yeah, that was really cheap. That was that last little bit there. Just trying to say that's the last shot before you get to the end of the stage. But just being able to say and stuff like, just wasn't aware if I could actively kind of do it. So, but yeah, that's World 7 minus, like, I don't remember what I do for like the last 4 minutes here. I just want to say, like, oh yeah, there's one more stage. Here I was thinking there wasn't. That was just stage 3. So, a whole nother stage yet. And this one's not quite as terrible, but it is kind of annoying. Just because those characters kind of tend to bump you off the stage. It's just, they won't hurt you, but they will bump you off, which can piss you off a little bit. So yeah, this is just the frustrating episode, and I got a game over. It's a good thing I saved, and I'll tell you, it was very intuitive to sit there and save like that. Just because, you know, I would have been doing that stage over, and I don't know if I would have been able to beat it again. So yeah, definitely when you get to a stage like that last one I just did, the first thing you want to do if it has I mean, even if you have to exit the world, go to a save point. That's something, I don't know if video games nowadays enact that policy, but definitely when you have, I mean, it should go without saying, just in case you don't know to do that. This is kind of the thing, but that's definitely an auto save kind of stage. So even with Dixie Kong, those enemies can bump you off. It just really doesn't matter. I mean, if they get into like a tangent with bumping you off, it's basically over. So you only really get like one shot. So then they put those muncher dudes there just to really piss you off. But so yep, this is Donkey Kong Country 3. I mean, this is the finale towards it. These are these last bastion stages. You will see the last stage in the next episode. I may not be able to show off the final boss, but I would at least like to possibly get to it. I just don't know how many times it would take. I mean, it's really a practice kind of thing. What the problem with it is with doing those type of stages is you have to maintain your composure. That's like the whole thing about it, is you have to really not get mad. And the problem with it is it's a long stage. They know purposely that it's annoying, so you have a lengthy stage where you have to do stuff. And this is kind of amongst the process. It's like building a model ship in a bottle or something like that. If you get pissed off with it, you could break the whole thing and stuff, but you just don't really have much of a choice in terms of that. I mean, the first half up to the checkpoint is not that bad, but it's just that last bit, and you only get 3 or 4 lives, and you have to keep doing it, and it's just like, I mean, amongst that sort of stuff, it's the second half of the stage that's the more annoying. So, I mean, if you die once, I mean, yeah, I think if you exit the world to go and get more lives, you basically have to do the whole stage over anyway. So you have to stay in the world, which means you only get 3 chances, or as many lives as you have. So you either have to stack up a bunch of lives and keep playing until you get it, or you just have to go with the lives that you get by default. So it's kind of the thing. It's just a pill. I mean, that's just the best way of putting it. The stage is just a pill, and I think, I don't know, it just felt like kind of one where they kind of flirted with the idea of maybe this is kind of taboo as far as whether or not it should have been in the game. I feel like there should have, I mean, obviously if you play this game on emulator, you can just reverse the controls and make it, I mean, I would assume that the stage would be that much easier just in normal territory, but for people who don't play these games on emulator, it just is. I mean, for people who played this back in 2007, 2008 and stuff, yeah, you could just reverse the controls and swim through the game like that. But it's just kind of, for actually, I mean, I own this on the actual Super Nintendo, so it's just kind of, that just really happens to be the thing. So, I don't know. I was able to do it in the past, but I don't. It's a major pain. It's just a major pain in the arse, just kind of major pain in the ass. That type of stuff just pisses me off all about. But we'll see. You'll at least get a few more episodes, but I just don't know if this is going to be a capped off kind of project. So I'll see you next time. Subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching, and of course, have a wonderful night.